Hey guys, I wanted to basically go over the differences between the Panasonic G85 and the Panasonic GH4 because right now they're priced pretty similarly, although there's some pretty distinct differences between them. And I guess I'll also go over why I chose the G85 over the GH4. In terms of size, the G85 is a little bit smaller than the GH4 and slightly lighter, and you have the same sized 3-inch flip screen with the same resolution as the GH4. The viewfinder is the same XGA resolution, and it's slightly larger. One thing that's notably missing on the G85 that you get with the GH4 is a headphone jack, and there's really no way to add one either. So if you're doing onboard audio, that's a mark towards the GH4. Furthermore, there's some noise that comes from the in-body image stabilization on the G85 that's picked up by the internal mics if you're in a very, very quiet room. But you can get around that like I have here using an external mic. This is the Rode Video Micro, and it's kind of isolated from vibration with that little bracket it has on it. Another advantage of the GH4 over the G85 is the battery life. And the reason for that's twofold. First of all, the battery itself is physically larger than the G85's battery. You'll probably get about 150 to 200 shots more per charge. The other reason is the GH4 doesn't have in-body image stabilization like the G85 has. And that was one of my main reasons for choosing this. Now, what's so nice about in-body stabilization on the G85 is that it works in conjunction with the lens you have attached to it. So this lens here, this is the kit lens, the 12 to 60, and it's optically stabilized, and it works together with the sensor shift stabilization to get you really cool. Like if you're walking with this camera and filming, you don't even see the jerkiness of your steps. It just kind of glides along. And that's really cool to have that kind of flexibility when you're shooting. If you're primarily shooting 4K, both of these cameras will shoot in 100 megabits per second, but the GH4 has some advantages when it comes to shooting at 1080p. It can shoot up to 200 megabits per second in 1080p, whereas this tops out I think at only 20 or so, and the G85 can only go up to 60 frames per second in 1080p, and the GH4 can do 96. You also get access to Vlog on the GH4, and you get a couple other menu settings that are more tailored towards video performance. Now that doesn't mean you can't record high quality video on the G85. You can, but you just don't have quite as many tools at your disposal. Now both the G85 and the GH4 are weather sealed, and they both use some magnesium in their construction, but the GH4 is fully magnesium all the way around the body and the top, whereas the G85 is only magnesium on the front and the bottom. So you'll get a little bit more of a solid feel with the GH4 than the G85. Now both of these cameras have 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensors, but the sensor on the G85 doesn't have an anti-aliasing filter, so you get sharper details close up in your images. And this is an advantage that also carries over into video. I've seen side-by-side comparisons. You can really tell there's much more detail in the G85 shots. Aside from that, something else I didn't mention earlier, that the crop is less on this than the GH4. When you start your 4K video, you punch in just a little bit on the G85 and you punch in quite a bit more on the GH4. So if you're doing a lot of wide-angle shooting especially, you'll find a major advantage when shooting with the G85. Aside from the removal of the anti-aliasing filter, the high ISO performance of the sensor has also been improved. And again, this is an advantage that carries over from stills to videos. So you get probably almost a one-stop advantage from what I've seen in shots comparing both these cameras together. So that was a major advantage for me, is having that cleaner image quality. So to sum up, I'd say the major reasons why I chose the G85 over the GH4 are: number one, the in-body image stabilization; number two, the removal of the low pass, the anti-aliasing filter; and number three, the improved image quality. And kind of number four, the fact that the camera itself is 2 years newer and Panasonic's made a lot of little tweaks to the interface and to the feature set. You just feel like you're getting a more current camera with the G85. If you're a really serious filmmaker and you need all those extra little tools the GH4 offers, and you don't really need image stabilization, like maybe you're shooting on a rig all the time, then maybe you could have a better case for the GH4, or maybe even the GH5 if you want to pony up $2,000 for it. But otherwise, I think in most cases the G85 is the better choice over the GH4. Alright, thanks for watching.